So it's January 1st, perfect time to start a new training routine. I'm gonna show you 5 easy steps how you can train and do everything at home to really reach your goals of being a better BMX racer. One of the biggest mistakes I see in parents for new kids into BMX racing, these beginning days are so much about good seat time on the bike and fundamentals and learning to ride your bike properly, not just throwing your kid on the clips. So kids, it's not only for you, but parents is also for you as well. You can watch this and help push your kids in the right way, keeping it fun and not letting them burn out too quick. I'm gonna break down these 5 easy steps so you can become a faster BMX racer today. First off, find you a nice comfy place on the floor, inside on a rug, something soft. We're gonna start on our core. We want a strong core, especially for gate starts. Gate starts are the most important part of the BMX race. We want to keep all those muscles around our spine really strong. Sooner you can get out of the start and get in first place sooner, it's going to make your race that much easier. You don't have to worry about dodging traffic. Step out front and it's your lap all the way to the finish line. One of the biggest things I see when I'm coaching is people do it like hunchback like this or doing a gate like this. That's not strong. If you think about a big strong power lifter doing a deadlift, his spine is nice and strong and he's not wiggling around like this, right? So keep that in mind. So we're gonna start with some core. We're really focused on those muscles, get them activated, and then you obviously slowly get stronger over time. We're just gonna freestyle this one. First, we're gonna do some V-sits. Keep those feet off the ground. Do some holds. Now I'm gonna flip over, we're gonna do planks. Doesn't feel like you're doing much, but what you're doing is activating all those muscles that are keeping your spine strong and stable. So we're gonna do this for we'll just do them as long as we can. You can get up on your hands and lift your left leg and your right arm and alternate it. Don't think you gotta overdo it. Remember, that's only one. We got 4 more exercises we're gonna do. If you get some aches and pains that don't feel right, just stop, switch it up, do another workout. Next, we're gonna do push-ups. Everybody knows what a push-up is, and we're not doing it for the beach body. And you're coming out of the second turn, and you're seeing the rhythm section, and you're in second place, and you wanna pass that rider in the first. Obviously, we're pushing with our legs when we pump, but we're also using those arms. So let's run through some push-ups and keep those arms strong as well. Let's shoot for 10. Let's do 2 or 3 sets of those. We're not blowing ourselves out, especially for beginner riders. I don't like to overload you with information because it's fun, right? You just got into it, you just want to ride your bike. I feel seat time and time on the bike the highest priority when it comes to progressing on your bike and getting better. You can do all the gym work in the world, you can do all the sprints in the world. If you can't apply that when you're on the track and get around the track smooth, then the training's not really gonna work for you. All right, next up, we're gonna do jump squats or plyometrics. You see guys jumping up on a box, it's a plyometric, and that's working on your explosive muscles and how fast you can move to get on top of that box. Same thing when you're coming out of the gate. Everything's so explosive when you're coming out of the gate. Yeah, you wanna be strong, you wanna be able to push on those pedals hard, but you wanna be able to push on those pedals hard and fast at the same time. You can be the strongest guy in the world, but if you can't push that pedal fast, then you're gonna get cut off right out of the gate. So I like to start with my explosive movements in gym training first because I wanna be the most recovered in those. That's more important to me. But I would rather have 100% energy on my quick movements and go for 70 to 80% on my heavy lifts. We're gonna do jump squats. If you have a box and you have something comfortable that you wanna jump on at home, feel free, but I'm gonna demonstrate it just with no box at all right here on flat ground. You wanna be in a good position. You don't wanna be too wide. You don't necessarily wanna have pedal width for your feet. Just nice and shoulder width, be nice and comfortable. And you're gonna go down and you really focus. When you're at this point, you really wanna focus on pushing those feet through the floor, really extending and exploding as high as you can to really get that maximum force. Because if you're jumping and doing this or you're not gonna be really productive jumping that way. So let's go. We're down, we're here, we're pretty much in that pedal position, and then it's 1, 2, 3. So when I jump, I'm like this because I'm getting that full extension out of my push to make sure everything's going straight up and the force is going through the floor. Let's do 2 more of those. Down. And remember, when you land, don't land straight legged. Land and really let your knees bend and absorb that catch. Because one day, when you get to my age, you're gonna feel all those aches and pains of years of jumping up to a box and jumping off the box and just slapping the ground. But I'm a prime example of that. We're gonna do 4 to 5 of those. Do 2 or 3 sets. You can do 4 or 5, but you don't wanna do 10 to 12. This exercise is working on those first few pedals coming out of the gate. Once you get to your 4th or 5th pedal out of the gate, that's when you start to spin. So that's when our high speed sprints that I'm gonna talk about on another video, that's when those are gonna come into play. But we wanna work on really getting that power and that real strong form coming out of the gate. All right, next one. Now we're just gonna do squats. If you have weights at home, feel free to hold them. I know a lot of the younger guys out there, I don't wanna recommend go throw weights on there. Your parents might not agree with that, and that's fine. But let's just worry about the movements. So we can go down, we get those squats, so when you do get older and you get to that age where your body's developed and you can start kind of putting a little bit of weight on, doing these exercises, at least you have the motions and you've been doing it at body weight. Maybe you got a backpack on with all your school books in it. Throw your backpack on, you got your school books in there, and we're gonna do some squats. If you wanna go a little wider feet, feel free. You really wanna feel that down in your hip flexors. You know you got a nice deep stretch, and we're just gonna stand up. When we're doing this, make sure our knees are going out. We don't wanna be doing squats and let our knees come in. Let the knees go in the direction of your feet. Keep them straight. Be very aware of what your body's doing. And we've gotten squats. My wife and Willow have come to join the party. What up, girl? What do you think? Few years you'll be training for 5 and under, girl, or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna be training. I'm gonna ride BMX, I'm gonna ride mountain bikes, I'm gonna ride motorcycles.
I'm just kidding, I don't know what she's gonna do, obviously. She's free to do whatever the little beautiful girl wants to do. But if she rides bikes, that'd be pretty awesome too. All right, that's 4. I'm gonna go to the important stuff now. So we're gonna grab the bike and I'm gonna show you a couple sprint exercises to really help you gain that confidence, to really charge through that gate and power to that first jump and be the fastest, intermediate, novice, whatever you are. Everybody wants to be expert, right? The more sprints you do, faster you're gonna get there. First off, most important, especially for beginners, if you're watching this video, I assume you want a few training tips because you haven't had much of a training routine. These, a lot of people don't know what these are nowadays. These are flat pedals. Let's use flat pedals. If you're already on clips and you haven't learned how to pedal with flat pedals yet, just stop where you're at. Get you some flat pedals. I'm not saying go race with flat pedals and take your clips off. You do what you want when it comes to that, but dedicate at least 1 training session a week on your flat pedals. Because if you can pedal fast with just a foot on the pedal, not strapped in, by the time you go to clips, you're gonna be that much faster. This is the HT Supreme flat pedal. They come in a bunch of different colors. And then shoes are the Aftons. These are nice. Doing a lot of flat pedal riding on these. Luckily, I think there's a rule in place now that's like 12 or 13 years old. But the biggest thing for beginner riders, parents come to the track, they bring their kids, and then there's a local dad. His son's been racing for 10 months, thinks he knows everything about the sport, and he's like, he needs clips, put him in clips. Well, the kid's only 6 years old, right? You're not gonna be riding clips anytime soon. It's gonna help them in the long run. The tall seat posts is so you can sit down and comfortably pedal on your bike. It's like you get on a mountain bike, you get on a road bike, the seat's already up pretty high. So that's why some guys have tall seat posts on their bikes. They don't race with it, it's usually just a spare. You see pros race and then they just go and they pedal around for a while after the lap. When you're going into the last turn, your legs are really burning. That lactic acid is building up in your legs and you want to get that stuff flushed out. So that's why you see the pros pedal around and really just pedal in the parking lot after a race. Sprint block. It can be a piece of wood, be a brick, be a little step stool. You don't even have to have a block. I'll show you another way to do it. You just want to have a nice, smooth area to start your sprints. Before we get into this, put a helmet on, please. It seems like something so easy to do, nothing's gonna happen. When the day comes, and it will come, and you break a chain or there's a loose chainring bolt and you snap a part in your drivetrain, everything immediately goes forward. And I've seen people go over the handlebars from it. Even I've seen people with bad pedaling technique and their front wheel slipped out from under them. So be safe, put a helmet on. This is the most important part of your body, so cover that dome. So I'm left foot forward. I would go find a pole like this or a wall to lean on. Lean on the side of your back pedal, because as soon as you put force on that front pedal, you're gonna go this way. And here, as soon as you pedal, you just lean off the wall and take off. So if you wanna use a sprint block, the block goes on your back pedal. I have it just high enough where my crank arm is gonna be under my chainstay. We're gonna set up these sprints at about 30 to 60 feet, depending on how much room you have. 30 foot is the white line in front of the gate, so obviously we wanna get to that white line first. If you have more room, feel free to go out to 60 feet. Flat ones on flat pedals, there's no reason for 100-yard sprints or 100-foot sprints, just flat pedals on flat ground. We really focus on getting that weight and bike going. Just enough weight where the pressure is on your back pedal, and that's where your balance is coming from. Remember, we're doing sprints. We're not doing gate starts. What are you doing, baby? When we take off, we're only gonna focus on pedaling forward. Front pedals first, pull that second pedal around, and it's just everything's going forward. No snapping, apply that pressure on the front pedal, and get your weight going forward. This is when that tight core comes. As soon as you take off, everything's gonna wanna crunch, and you gotta be strong through here. It's not gonna feel like a gate start, so don't try to make it feel like a gate start. Let's just focus on applying pressure to the pedals and moving forward. If you're like all over the place like this, you're taking up more track. You wanna make that as straight of a line as possible. Shortest distance to that white line is gonna be the fastest, right? Keep that core engaged and everything's nice and strong, and really try to keep that bike upright, not side to side too much. We're gonna do these 6 to 8 times, especially for the ones getting started. You don't need to overdo it, but if you really wanna get wild, do 10 to 12. But same thing with the explosive movements. You don't want to blow yourself out and start doing sprints that are slower than normal. Always try to be at your max sprint after good recovery. Whew. Feeling faster already. I hope you can take something from this. Every little bit helps. We all started somewhere. I started in this same position. I remember the day I had a coach tell me to do plyometrics jumps, and I thought, what in the world are these? I'm just jumping in the air. Only to find out years later how important those movements are. So you've obviously made it this far in the video. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe, smash that like button. More likes I get, more this video will spread. Support this cause. This is free training for you guys, and I'm gonna be dropping a video every Friday. That is my one New Year's resolution. Every Friday, posting a new video so you guys can get hyped, ready for the weekend of training. Whether it's training or just something fun, but I plan to do a lot of how-tos and training videos. So make sure you subscribe, don't miss out, and let's get this Chase to Tulsa in November going today. Later.